But if you ever had a point in your SEC basketball schedule this year that you think, man, if we're going to have a couple guys rehabbing from injury, what a great period to have it. It's right now. Right now, we'll go over Florida's next 4 games. And the Gators, with or without Condon and Martin, no matter how much they play, Saturday, midweek, the following weekend, the following midweek, their next 4 games, no matter how much those guys play, if the Florida Gator basketball team truly thinks they deserve one of the number 1 seeds, they need to go win the next 4 games. They need to go win the next 4 games. They're in a really good position. Go win the next 4 games. We'll go over those games, and I'll give you a quick peek. None of those teams that Florida plays are ranked. That's hard to do. It's hard this year to play 4 consecutive SEC basketball games on the men's side and not knock heads with a ranked team. Florida's got a really good option or opportunity in front of them right now. If they go out and take care of the next 4 games starting Saturday, that's 2 weeks. You've got Saturday midweek, okay? The next 2 weeks, Florida should win the next 4 games. They're 21-3. They're already well in the top 5. You've got 2 weeks to sit back. If you get your wins, if you're the Gators, get your wins and watch the rest of the upper echelon in the SEC play each other and knock each other off. Good spot. Even though Florida has 2 injuries, good spot. We'll dig into that. Speaking of this weekend, the first of several NCAA March Madness men's bracket preview. We'll have the men's bracket preview. This happens every year. It's kind of a look ahead to what the committee is thinking. They will come out this weekend. The committee will pre-rank, if you will, the top 16, what they think in order are the top 16. It has been a pretty good barometer over the years, and I'm really, really interested to see where Florida will be right now. The one fallacy I think, and shame on me for not knowing this 100%, I think the first show comes up this Saturday. And if it comes up I wish it came out Sunday. I think it comes out this Saturday. And with that, you won't have the results of Auburn and Alabama, which is the big game, or any other games. But it'll be fun. It will be fun to follow that. Let me clear my throat here. As again, I welcome you to a Thursday edition. We're live at Sliders Oyster Bar on the patio. You know it by now. The best seafood, the freshest seafood. They get it only from Safe Harbor Seafood right here, prepared the way you want it from the dock to your plate. It doesn't get much fresher than Safe Harbor Seafood, providing the seafood here at Sliders Oyster Bar in Neptune Beach. Zachary Rothrock, are you there? Zachary
I am.
Rothrock, producer extraordinaire. I don't know how much of a story. You sent me a link about the time I was reading it early this morning. The Pittsburgh Steelers supposedly have been on the phone calling people looking for a dance partner. Is that what they're doing? Looking for a quarterback? Steelers bad quarterback play this past year. Supposedly picked up the phone and dialed 904. Is that right? Catch me up. What do we got?
Yeah, I mean, that is the rumor. I personally don't think there's any way this trade actually happens. I think the asking price is going to be too much. The Jaguars are going to ask for 3 or 4 first-round picks, something ridiculous like that. But yeah, the Steelers are one of those teams.
And why would you?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. He's your if you're the Jaguars, he's your biggest asset. He's the guy that sells the stadium out. Like, why would you let go of him for less than that? But yeah, the Steelers are one of those teams that, at least in their eyes, they're about one quarterback. They're a quarterback away from being a serious Super Bowl contender. Oh yeah, and I mean, it's kind of hard to argue they're not, as they've made the playoffs with Mason Rudolph at quarterback and then Russell Wilson.
And Wilson's got the Achilles, right?
Yeah, I think that the plan is to move on from Russell Wilson and either go with Justin Fields or potentially bring. They're obviously looking to bring in someone else.
And I know, Zach, I know you can throw back at me when I say this. What about Sam Darnold? Or what? Well, Justin Fields isn't the answer, is he? I mean, that would be lightning in a bottle if he.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of. As someone that follows the Steelers pretty closely, I kind of want to see them run it back with Fields next year just to see what happens. Like, give him. I mean, he went 4-2 in the first 6 games. It's not like he was.
So give him a fair chance.
Yeah,
him a fair
exactly.
chance.
Yeah. Without Russell Wilson standing behind him, breathing out his neck, doing a Subway commercial, I think it'd be a lot better to see what he looks like if that were to happen.
Well, if you do that, you get out of the phone call business that you did supposedly today. So you got to be committed. You got to make a commitment to
it feels
Fields,
like
right?
Justin Fields is almost like their plan B, and they're trying to find a plan A. And I think it might be Aaron Rodgers potentially.
Oh my!
He'll be a lot cheaper than Lawrence for sure. You can just sign him. He's just open market free agent right now. I don't think he's very sought after or coveted. I don't think he's going to be the one that takes you over the top to get a Super Bowl either. But it just kind of feels like that might be where they're headed.
And that's a done deal, right? The Jets and Rodgers have basically shaken hands. And
yeah, I don't know if it was today or probably yesterday, but yeah, they came out and said that they are not going to bring Rodgers back.
Yeah. So to catch people up, Zach, the word is, and we don't have the full details, but the word is somebody from the Steelers front office might have made a phone call into the Jaguars front office and said, hey, we're in the market for a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk? Now, the report didn't say, and I would assume the Steelers probably made a bunch of calls like that, right? I mean, and I would think this time of year, quarterback deprived franchises probably call. Hey, what is it, about 50 cents to make a long distance call? I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, it's definitely worth the price of admission to just to see what they have.
Yeah. And then you look at a franchise like the Jaguars, and we know Trevor Lawrence just signed a big deal. I think they've got it's a cap friendly deal this year, but next year I think it's a pretty good hit for the Jaguars. But if you ever think you could find a franchise and a coaching staff that might do something wild with their existing quarterback, it would probably be a brand new coaching staff. Year one, not year three. Year one, you've probably got a little leeway. If you were Liam Cohen and you said, you know what, I don't think we're going to be real good year one anyway. Gosh darn, I love this Cam Ward guy. I don't know.
Yeah, but see, to me though, if you're Liam Cohen, it's probably not the best way to look at it, but you got to kind of look at it like this: if you have Trevor Lawrence and he doesn't work out, you get a mulligan. You get to say, okay, well, he was broken before I got here.
Yeah, and I think he's got a mulligan year one. I think he's got a mulligan year one. Now,
well,
if the Jaguars were to say, you know what, year one, we're not going to be good. Liam Cohen may or may not love. You don't know. Some coaches don't love certain players. The Jaguars would still need a quarterback, and they don't think Mac Jones is a guy. You could see it would probably have to be a 3-team deal, right? Because the Steelers don't pick way up high, right? The Steelers don't pick.
I think they're number 20, something like that.
Yeah. Interesting, though. It's interesting. And certainly, I think this kind of phone call happens all the time. I don't know if it's because there's a new regime. Maybe things are a little bit looser down at the stadium today than they would have been, 2 years ago. And, new people are in. Oh, my God. Did you hear the secretary took a call from somebody from Pittsburgh's front office today?
I mean, here's kind of what I think it potentially was. I think it was just the Steelers putting it out there. They wanted to leak it out there that we are in the market for a quarterback and we are willing to pay for the biggest one. So if you're trying to move on from yours, just know we've already reached out to Jacksonville. So maybe you can reach out to us, because when things leak, they usually leak for a reason. And maybe this leak from the Jacksonville side, I don't know, but I think you would probably anticipate that it would leak when you make the call. So I think that's kind of part of their calculated decision there.
Yeah, you may be right. You never know where this came from. You assume it leaked from the Steelers making the call, but who knows?
Yeah, and they're one of those franchises. They keep stuff stuff just doesn't leak out from their facility without them wanting it to leak out. They're kind of like the Patriots in that sense. So I believe it's kind of them saying, "Hey, we're on the hey Buffalo, if you want to move off from Josh Allen, just offer us whatever. We'll give you whatever for it." I think it's one of those.
You call, right? Hey, Kansas City, that Mahomes guy. I think he's at the end of his. Boy, he looked slow. Boy, that Mahomes guy looked awful slow the other night, didn't he?
Yeah, he looked awful. Don't you guys want to move on from him?
Yeah, we'll take him. Interesting though, and we're in that time of season, right? I mean, this is going to be fun, and so what do we have now? Trying to tick off the timeline. Up next, I guess, is the Combine. Is the most pressing event in the NFL offseason, right? The Combine. I know. I looked, Zach. somewhere early to mid-March, there's a date where franchise tags and transition tags can start getting, I think, because the NFL year, it's not a January to January, right? I think the NFL year starts like March 15th or March 31st, right? The new league year. Mm-hmm. It's not a Jan 1 to Jan 1 kind of thing. So you've got combine, you've got who's getting franchise, who's getting transition. You've got the draft, right? Draft comes up in late April, and then free agency's after the draft, right? You know who you draft, and then you go into free agency. Draft, by the way, from what I saw in Green Bay. Did you know that? Green Bay.
Yeah, that's going to be potentially really cold.
Yeah, late April. I was going to ask you that late April, but I mean Green freaking Bay. Late April.
Be real cold.
Oh, and I heard the draft the following year is. I think it's in Pittsburgh.
That'll be in Pittsburgh. Yeah, that's saying that. So the script should have it that the Steelers should, get the number 1 overall pick next year. Then, yeah, if everything's really scripted as people say it is, that's the way it should work out. Yeah.
Yeah. Is the biggest name out there that's gettable going to be Myles Garrett?
He's the biggest available player. I guess he's not considered a free agent, but he's on the trade block.
He's gettable. He's gettable.
Yeah, for sure.
And do you understand? I saw a wild list today, and I think it was just a wild list, but it said, would the Cowboys do something dumb and part ways with Micah Parsons? That's stupid, isn't it? They're not gonna.
I mean, it is, but they're kind of in they're in such a. All their salary is tied into Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons, so that their hands are almost tied. But yeah, Jerry's probably going to find a way to make that work, though.
Yeah, to keep him. You mean?
Yeah, to keep him.
I'm still intrigued. I never thought I was going to say this, but I'm still intrigued because to make a big splash, I think in the offseason, you got to have some bullets in the gun, right? It's hard to make a big splash without, nobody's going to give you a bunch and you don't give a bunch, right? I mean, generally, you can get raped here and there, but I'm still intrigued by Cleveland sitting at number 2, which is a coveted. Number 2 is a big pick, particularly when it's considered that there are more than one big-time quarterback out there. Not that Cleveland wants a quarterback, but quarterback means you can dangle, right? Yeah. I'm still intrigued if Cleveland knows that Cleveland and Myles Garrett are going to divorce. Mm-hmm. So they've got. I don't know if they can sign and trade him if he's still under contract. If they've come to a deal and said, "Hey, man, you've got to give a trade agreement, but we're going to take care of you." We'll right? It sounds like the Cleveland organization and Myles Garrett are working together. They know he's not going to be wearing the Cleveland Browns, but they're working together. Working together with a great player like that, plus the number 2 overall pick, I think that's a lot of collateral sitting out there for the Browns. Am I crazy?
It is, but the Browns is the Browns. They're always the Browns. They always have the most collateral. They always have the most top 10. Yeah, they always have the most top 10 picks and the most assets. They never do anything with it. It's crazy. They literally, I think it was 2015 or 16, they just did the whole hard reset. They fired the coach, the GM. They let all their star players go. And now they're right back to square one again. But
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. But man, that's nice. Hey, and they'll screw it up. But man, to make a big splash, you got to have some bullets in the gun. I think, man, they've got some bullets right there, man.
Oh, they can shoot nonstop with their bullets until the cows come home. Their bullets will never run out with all the assets they have.
Except,
they also have the least amount of salary cap room with the Deshaun Watson. Their signing of him, it's the worst thing that any franchise has ever done for themselves. It's hard to find worse.
So, do you think the Steelers are a quality quarterback away? Are they that close? Or are they false bravado kind of thing about their franchise?
If the Steelers had Josh Allen on their roster since 2017, they would have won 4 Super Bowls by now.
Really?
That's not. Oh God, yeah. Come on, man. If the roster was exactly the same, 100%. They need a guy. They haven't had a guy since Big Ben retired. Actually, since Big Ben was about 3 years away from retiring, they haven't had a guy.
Yeah, I remember that. Boy, they dangled. They kept him too long, didn't they?
Yeah, but I mean, he was there for 18 years.
And I don't blame Big Ben as long as they kept throwing him money.
Oh, why not? Yeah, I'm saying.
Gimp out there. But, that was one of those situations where, if you know your marriage is over, do you really stick around 3 more years? You know what? Well, we had a good Sunday. Yeah, but Monday through Saturday was hell.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember, they had a really good offense with that Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown that the Jacksonville Jaguars Duval. They went there and punched him in the mouth and won by I think at least 3 or 4 touchdowns, and the game wasn't even close.
And wasn't Le'Veon crazy?
They offered him $15 million, and he turned it down and took 17 from the Jets.
Yeah,
which that's about like a Browns signing Deshaun Watson from the player's perspective.
Wasn't he the guy that sat out 1 year? I'm gonna sit out.
Yeah,
didn't he just kind of sit out 1 year?
He's come out and said that he kind of regrets doing that at this point.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean,
and he didn't get paid, right? He just kind of sat out.
No, but what he's got to understand, if he would have been the star running back for that team and they would have actually won something, he would have gotten just all the free rides for the rest of his life. But instead, he goes to the Jets for an extra $2 million, and well, that's that.
Does Mike Tomlin have some gas in the tank still, or is he holding that franchise back in a weird way? No.
It's hard to tell. I mean, he needs the offensive coordinator. Arthur Smith is not the guy. I'm not happy with this guy at all. He's not an offensive coach. He needs a quarterback and an offensive coordinator. If you get that guy a quarterback and an offensive coordinator, kind of like what Belichick had for all those years, I think he could be extremely successful. But he needs those things.
Zachary Rothrock. I don't know if you're a NASCAR gearhead. I don't think you are. You're from the Low Country in South Carolina, which is NASCAR country.
Feels like I should be, but I'm not.
Do you recall? Are you old enough to recall when? And I bring this topic up because Sunday's the Daytona 500. I mean, Sunday is the Daytona 500. Are you old enough to recall when literally the Daytona 500 and the Indy 500, they were big days on the American sports calendar? They're gone. They are gone now. It's weird. Do you remember those days at all?
That's probably a little before my time.
I
definitely remember when the Earnhardt accident happened that everyone was talking about that the next day. I was like 4th grade when that happened, I think.
Remember that when that happened as well. And NASCAR started. I'm not a NASCAR guy at all. I'm very perfunctory on the outside. But I remember, the 90s NASCAR kind of it never grew. It got so popular 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. But it was a niche sport. It was a good old Southern boy sport. Yeah. And it was popular. It was popular, but
guys running from the cops or something. Am I making that up?
Yeah, moonshining. Bootlegging and moonshine. That's kind of. But I mean, NASCAR, and it got real popular. Don't get me wrong. It was a money making 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s even. But it ceilinged out because how do I say it without offending people? But I mean, it was made up of good old Southern boys, right? And there is a passionate group, Talladega and Bristol and Daytona, but it just kind of wasn't friendly to if you weren't born with skull in your mouth and Daisy Duke cut off, right? So it peaked, and NASCAR really scuffled. And then they kind of went the other way and I'm just a far away guy looking. They actually then said, well, wait a minute. It's almost like NASCAR called in the 90s Hollywood casting, and they said, we can't have the Richard Pettys and the Buddy Bakers and the Bobby Allisons. We need these good-looking 28-year-old, tall, full head of hair, good-looking boys. So they almost kind of went against. But, man, the Daytona 500.
I kind of feel like a misstep they took was when they brought in Danica Patrick and they focused a lot of attention on her, even though she finished in dead last a lot. And I get that it was cool that she was a female driver and it was good, and I do want to celebrate that. That is really cool that she did that. But the fact that she, when we celebrate Caitlin Clark, she's the best. Like, she's dominant. Yeah, she deserves all that. But it felt like Danica Patrick, nobody
in the Caitlin Clark game. You don't feel like the game is skewed to help her. She's going out scoring 30 points in the game. Danica Patrick was skewed. But where I was going with this, and we're real long, I want to stay with this, though. Same with the Indy 500. The Indy 500 was in May on Memorial Weekend. Memorial Day weekend. And I mean, that thing would be run in prime time. And it was I think what killed American auto racing was when those two events were huge, there were very few choices. Very, very few choices. Way back in 1986, on Sunday of the Daytona 500, Zach, nobody had an iPhone that they were spending hours with their face in an iPhone. Nobody had an iPad. Nobody had a television that had music at your fingertips. It had movies at your fingertip. It had 8 million Netflix, right? Those weren't around. So now those things weren't around. Your desktop wasn't around that you could just go live for 9 hours on, right? Those things weren't around in my example of 1986, but you still had a bunch of hours to fill and you wanted to be entertained. So guess what you did? You turned on the TV. And guess what you did if you were a sports person? Back then you had 4 channels. You watched Meet the Press. You watched something on TBS. Well, I'm being serious. No, you watched Meet the Press on PBS. You watched some movie of the week at noon Sunday on ABC. You watched some game show or something, or you found CBS broadcasting the Daytona 500, and you sat there and you watched it. You didn't have anything else to put your face into. I think technology, and auto racing. How do you spruce it up unless you have it? I mean, you go round and round and round and round and round for. It's tough on auto racing, but you don't have a lot to spruce it up.
They need to put guns on the cars and make them do loop to loops, and I'd watch.
Dude, that would be great, wouldn't it? Yeah. Or at least water balloons or eggs or something. Well, eggs you can't afford.
Yeah, make it like Super Mario Kart. Yeah, not gun. I guess guns is a bit much. Make it like Super Mario Kart. Give them turtle shells.
How about potato launchers? How about potato guns?
Yeah, that works.
But you can't do eggs.
Because everything you're describing, you can apply those smartphone rules to the NFL, to the NBA, to MLB, but what they embrace the social media. Like NBA is more popular on social media than it is on TV.
Absolutely.
And so
and I wonder, and this morning when I was putting this topic out, I just don't think you can doll up 250 left turn laps over a 2.5 mile, right? 200 laps at 2.5. I don't know how much you can doll that up unless, and the only thing I can think that might, how can American racing get their share? Is there a way to gamble it up? I mean, do they gamble enough with it?
It's a hard sport to bet on. Kind of like
golf, I mean, do you do to bet on? Yeah, do you do okay? Who's going to be in first? Who's going to lead this lap? I don't know. I don't know if you can doll up racing very much.
Yeah, there's all sorts of things you can do like that. Yeah, like who's going to have the fastest pit stop, stuff like that.
I guess.
But I think it's just not. All they do is turn left. I mean, I think if you were a guy that really understands cars and you understand the wear and tear and how they got to manage their pit crew and this and that, I'm sure it's really deep and intricate. But I just personally don't care, man. I want to see.
I'll tell you one thing.
Gritty.
I don't know how this happened. Why this happened, but Zach, this was probably 3 months ago in my life. I don't know why or how, but I'm sitting around my house and it's a Sunday morning, which means it was Sunday NFL morning. And I had probably just watched a billion hours of college football. I can remember one morning a couple months ago, I was up and, we're talking 8, 9 o'clock. NFL hadn't even thought about kicking off. I get up early. And I don't know why. I was flipping channels. I'd already watched all the SEC now from the football before. I'd seen it. It's 9:30. And one of the ESPN channels, one of the channels right there in the sports, I think it was the Formula One race from Miami. I think there's a big one that ends, and it was like I think it was one from Miami, and it was the big boys. I knew a couple of names just because the names were so big. Zach, I don't know what made me do this, but I sat there and watched a good 45 minutes. The Formula One open wheel course.
The courses look different. They're not all the same oval course.
It's a course. And they also had some deal where I don't know what it was. I'm an ignorant person when I come to this racing talk, but these cars have certain amount of battery power to give their turbo boost. And if you use it too long, when you pit, you got to get it right.
Mhm.
So there was all kinds of strategy in this damn thing.
Oh,
And
it is like a video game.
And I'm telling you, the guy in first and the guy chasing his ass. And it's one of those road courses, and open wheels. So ain't no rubbing and racing. If open wheel, you're in an accident.
Yeah.
And then you had just enough cars that were not part of the lead, but they were in the friggin' way. You had to drive, man, and it was intriguing. I'm telling you.
This is like a far superior sport. I could probably get that better.
There were like in this course, and the course probably like 2.5 miles per lap, all winding. There were probably, and I watched it for about 45 minutes, so I started figuring it out. Zach, there were probably 3 just long ass straightaways. Now, when I say long, that these guys could gun it and they'd get up to 220 miles an hour. Now, they could only do that for 20 seconds, but that was your straightaway to pass. Or did you have the nuts to pass on curves? Dude, it was in that Formula One stuff was intriguing when I watched it. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it feels like NASCAR pales in comparison. That's probably one of the bigger reasons for the fall of NASCAR too. Is people just have people that would be fans of NASCAR are fans of that instead, and just don't necessarily do both.
Yeah, I mean those guys were driving. That reminded me when you woke up hungry and man, you were going to get to McDonald's and get you an Egg McMuffin, and there goes Zach Rothrock, and it was busy that day, but you weren't going to be stopped, Zach.
Got to get there before 10:30.
You weren't going to be stopped.
Yeah,
it was man, it was something. But man, the death of American racing, man, I'm telling you, Memorial Day weekend, which is always in May, right? Mm-hmm. And that kind of May, that kind of kicked off summer for a lot of people. It was the Brickyard, and it was this big famous. And I'm telling you, man, that damn Indy 500 would be run sometimes. I can remember as a kid watching it in prime time, and that thing's getting, last hour was 7 to 6 to. It was, man. They have fallen off the 500, both 500s.
Yeah, it felt to me when I was a kid. I feel like my granddad started watching that Daytona, like the race at. I mean, it was like daytime outside, and by the time it was over, it was like midnight. Yeah. That's what it felt like to me, anyway.
And I think this is true with Formula One. So I want to qualify this so I don't sound too stupid because I'm way out of my sports world here. But it seemed like too, my NASCAR buddies would tell me, like we're talking in the 2000s and all, that NASCAR got so. If you had the most money, you were going to win. Money won way more than accelerator and driver. Kind of. Does that make sense?
The Jeff Gordon era?
I think, yeah. If you had the money,
a lot of people didn't like him. I think that's potentially why.
Yeah. And but he also didn't look like what the old NASCAR guys were supposed to look like.
Oh, yeah, he was pretty boy. He was Tom Brady. He was one of those with the hair and the gel and the smile. Yeah, I know he wasn't Richard Petty.
You know what we need? We need to bring racing back is you ever see the movie Cannonball Run?
I'm not familiar.
Old
with
movie.
No.
It's kind of like what do you call those? Starts on one end of the country and goes to the other, like a rally. A rally. That's what we need. A rally. A race is a rally. And you know what changes a rally? I think if you just said start from the East Coast and go to the West Coast, that's just a sprint. There's no skill. A rally, you have different stages and you have to do timing and stuff. I think, but Cannonball Run, that's what we need, Zach. That's what we need. All right, where are we at? What are we doing here?
Burt Reynolds, Roger Moore, Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah, they had a.
I think I'd really enjoy that movie.
It was a classic, man. It should have won Emmy awards or whatever. What do they win? Oscars? What do they win in movies?
Oscars. Sure. Oscar sounds.
I always mix it. Do you mix that up? I always used to. Okay, Oscar is a movie award. Emmy award.
That's TV.
Grammy's music.
That's music. Yeah, I think
Grammy's music. What is Emmy?
Oh, Academy Award. Emmy is TV. That's how
TV.
We could potentially get nominated for a local Emmy, but I mean, I don't think anyone's going to write us in for that.
Okay, so Emmy is television, Oscar is motion picture, and what was the thing I said a minute ago was music? Grammy.
Yeah.
Grammy.
Kendrick Lamar won 6 of those.
And don't forget the Tony Awards, because I'm such a well-rounded guy. You know what Tony Award is, right? Broadway, my man, Broadway.
Yeah.
I got couth, okay? Like my mom used to say, Terry, act like you got some couth. Well, Mom, I don't really know what couth is. Do I have it? Do I want it? Sounds like I need to go to the doctor if I've got some couth. Yeah.
Potentially.
Right?
Is your couth burning?
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know. Let's take a break here. I got to go scratch my.
All right.
Oh, my goodness. Where are we going? Where is Patrick Young when we need him? One down, a long way to go. Gator basketball on the other side. And the Jaguars. Big, ugly, big, sexy. Your thoughts on the other side. The Young and Norvelle show continues from Sliders Oyster Bar on a Thursday.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jacks app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jacks Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
I got a lot of stuff to cover here as we welcome you back to the first hour of the Young and Norvelle show. Terry Norvelle here. Hope to hear from Patrick Young today and or tomorrow. Obviously, getting back. Patrick goes to Charlotte on Tuesday and Wednesday during the basketball season. He has a lot of work to do. Tuesday night, all the halftime shows from SEC Network, and he does it also on Wednesday. So Pat will be back tomorrow, hopefully for sure, and we can kind of preview SEC basketball. Zach Rothrock producing as normal on a Thursday. And I'm Terry Norvelle. Glad you're with us here. We do it Monday through Friday. Hopefully you know it by now. You're watching us, and you can stay with us 4 to 6 weekdays. Happy hour show, the Young and Norvelle show. Zach, I was asking you during the break, no news, I guess, on a hire, maybe some more interviews today for the Jaguar GM job. Did they just kick somebody out of an interview? You said they're rocking and rolling through another one today, huh?
Yes. Adam Schefter reported about maybe 10, 15 minutes ago that they just completed the interview with John Robinson, who was the Tennessee Titans general manager when they traded A.J. Brown to the Eagles.
Okay.
He's also the GM when they drafted Derrick Henry, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know? That's pretty easy.
There you go. So they've interviewed quite a few, right? We think we're gonna have somebody here in the next couple of days, right? Jaguars.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's got to be soon. I mean, the game of musical chairs is filling up.
I mean, you can get, Senior Bowl information. You can get combine if you don't have all your boots on the ground. You can get a lot of information, but you want to have your guys. You want to have your guys eyeballing these players.
Just kind of from the outside looking in, the two guys that they have interviewed that I would be the most intrigued with would be James Gladstone. He was the Rams director of scouting strategy, which means he's basically a Sean McVay type protege, which Liam Cohen comes from that. So they probably have a very similar mindset in terms of what type of players you're looking for and what types of offense they want to run. I think that'd be a really good hire. And also with that same mindset, Josh Williams was the director of scouting and football operations with the 49ers. So same thing just with Kyle Shanahan. And they're all
his name on
fraternity,
I saw that guy's name pop up and picture last night when I was watching some stuff. Do you happen to have ages on either of those guys, or are they relatively young? I wonder about if you're
right around 40. I can look though.
Okay, so they're in that younger. The reason I brought that up, I've wondered if you are a seasoned NFL general manager. I mean,
25.
Say that again.
The guy from the 49ers is 25. He was born in 1999. Wow, I didn't expect that.
Hold on. 1, 2.
I gotta make no. That's wrong. That's a player with the same name. I was like, dude, there's no way. I was like, there's no way this is right.
Zach, I was about to say, there's 5 guys here at the bar at Sliders that are older than that guy going to be the GM.
I was like, how did this guy move up the totem pole that fast? He's nuts.
Holy shit. Wow. Is his name Doogie Howser? Doogie Howser, maybe? He's one of those smart young guys. Where I was going to go with this, I've been intrigued a little bit. If you are a seasoned general manager, okay, and there's a bunch of guys that have been in that role before, been in that role for years. They've been around the league. To be a seasoned general manager, I think it'd be fair to say you're in your 50s, okay, right, or older.
Because you probably had to be a scout and then work your way up through the process.
And when I say seasoned, you've had success. You've been a GM for 5, 6, 7 years at least. Well, I wondered when I saw this staff get put together. Your head coach is 39. One of your coordinators is 42. Mm-hmm. Who is one of these other guys? 35. I mean, the staff. Tony Baselli is a rookie at 52, right? He's never done that. And I wonder if you're a seasoned general manager, would this job not appeal to you? You're like, man, I'm not so sure. I want to be 56-year-old Zach Rothrock going and having to work with a bunch of a kiddie corps. I wonder about that.
That's definitely one way to look at it, and I can see that. Or they could look at it and say, hey, I'll be the seniority. They'll all respect me. They'll all give me the top decision. So maybe I would want that. Maybe I would want to be the leader, the one they look to.
And frankly, the Jaguars, from Shad Khan to Liam Cohen down, they may say, we don't want a 56-year-old general manager. We want to stay young and fresh.
I would prefer to go young.
Yeah.
Especially
they may.
Because when you gotta just accept that you are the Jaguars. The Jaguars are never, like how you've said, they're never going to get the. I don't think Deion Sanders is going to coach in the NFL, but they'll never get Deion Sanders. They're never going to get the A1 coaching hire, right? So why not get the young guys that can become your guys, that can become the guys that everybody else wants to get, they can't get because he's yours. And that's how you get the young guys.
Along the same lines of young, vibrant, young, full of testosterone, Liam Cohen's 39 years old. He is, a fun, wound up tight, go guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to spin off into the topic I teased a moment ago going to the break with the Jaguars. Does Liam Cohen, an offensive guy, does he have the nads, if you know what I mean, to draft, if they stay at 5, Big Ugly instead of Big Sexy? Big Ugly means big old dudes on the lines of scrimmage, which I think they have to go Big Ugly. It's not – Big Ugly is not Big Sexy. You know what Big Sexy is? Travis Hunter or McMillan, the 6'5" kid from Arizona. I think they have to go Big Ugly, but the young staff will be intrigued by Big Sexy Zach Rothrock. Big Sexy.
I mean, maybe, but also there could just be a trend where every team in the NFL is going to look at the Eagles, look at how they won that game and how they dominated, and just say it's still all about the O-line and the D-line. That's what football is going to be until football stops being a sport. And so I think
and that's the football. I like that kind of football. I don't don't get me wrong. I do not love running the football 68 times a game. I'm not advocating for that, and that's not the Eagles. But I do like – I grew up with line of scrimmage. If you run it first, pass it second. And I'm a Spurrier guy. And he was pass and run up under, but he was always balanced. I like that. Isn't it ironic how – and I don't know if this is a total trend, but, man, the way Barkley and the Eagles won the Super Bowl, your boy Derrick Henry thinks, I got 2 more years. And the big thick-legged back goes, all right, I guarantee you your boy Ashton Genty's like, hey, man, okay, all right. He's like,
he feels like a cowboy to me.
Yeah, I'm a James Cook does it a little bit different, but James Cook was the feature back there.
Oh yeah. This year they really leaned in him a lot. Oh yeah,
they leaned on him, and I like the running back having a big role in the NFL. I do. I was born like that. I was born with O.J. Simpson, Walter Payton, guys like that. Franco Harris.
This year there was almost like a reversal of trend. For the past previous seasons, it was always better in fantasy football to get the wide receivers early. But this year, the people that won were the ones that invested in running back early, and it's because the running backs were the most important players in the league this year.
And you know what it looks like, and trends are in sports. Sports are in trends. Trends are in sports. NFL's as trendy as it comes and goes. Doesn't it feel like that Tyreek, Waddle, cat quick little slot guy is kind of cycling out a little bit? Remember 3-4 years ago, everybody wanted a couple of those cat quick little slot guys. It seems like that's cycling out a little bit.
When you look at A.J. Brown, it's hard to not call him the prototype. It's hard to not say that guy can't be guarded by anybody. Yeah. But I think you want a balance, though. You still want a Kadarius Toney.
Travis Hunter is a physical go get the ball, not a slot guy. Little.
His arms are real long.
Yeah, and the guy from Arizona, McMillan, the Jaguars are rumored to be talking to. He's 6'5". He's 6. So that little slot guy is kind of cycling out now. Was Saquon Barkley a one-off? I mean, are there a lot of 6'1", tree trunk thighs,
there's not a lot of guys
speed?
Like him.
Yeah. So was that a one-off? I don't know.
Ashton Genty might be a guy like him, though.
Yeah, and Genty.
Well, I would say rare, not one of one, just rare. Like
Genty, strong lower body, ran low, and Genty, we didn't see him a lot because he didn't play with a high-profile team until the playoffs. But, man, it felt like Genty, every time he got the ball, I thought he was going to bust one.
Even though he was
controlled and contained by the better teams at the end, it's still, to me, and that's how you felt with Barkley. All year, you thought every time Barkley touched the ball, he was going 60, didn't you?
He did it often enough to make you think that, yeah.
I did. Speaking of the Eagles, parade tomorrow. They're expecting 1 million of those filthy, disgusting Eagle fans at the parade. Oh, can you imagine that? I mean, I think we should try to do more than just one thing. If you know you're going to have those filthy Eagle fans together, shouldn't that count for community service hours for a lot of them?
It should. Yeah, that's a good point. Is the mayor going to go out and try to redeem her Eagles chant when they do
and
that?
spell it?
Yeah.
Spell it with cue cards?
Yeah.
But don't you think they should try and kill a couple birds with one stone? If you got 1 million Eagle fans, you know a lot of those. Can you imagine how many ankle bracelets will be down in that downtown area?
It's going to be chaos. Yeah, a lot of warrants could be served. A lot of people showing their face for the first time in a while.
That's on my list right here. Can you imagine how many warrants you could serve tomorrow on the perimeter of that parade?
Work is going to get done.
What about the potential for electrical charge if all of those ankle bracelets go off at the same time? Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could knock the whole system off if you get a couple hundred to go off at the same.
That could be electrical charge. Who was it? Some country. Help me out. This was a couple months ago. And this was terrible. I think people died, but didn't some country, Iran or Iraq or somebody, they monkeyed around with cell phones or beepers, and they put they put an exploding device in a bunch of beepers and shipped them out. And the country they're fighting, they shipped them over to these guys, and these guys bought them, and they exploded.
Well, if they put them in beepers, they had to send it to a fifth world country that still uses beepers. But
and then they sent a beep out, and it exploded on people.
Yeah,
look, can you look that up?
I'm telling you, kind of somewhat tried. I'm having a hard time seeing that.
Look harder, Zach.
Okay.
Look harder. I'm telling you, somebody help us out. Some country, they took their IT department and they made some bogus cell phones or beepers or something.
Lebanon was the team or the country that received. Lebanon received the beepers.
I don't want to laugh, please, but tell me, read what happened. See if I was close.
Oh, it was Israel. Israel sending to Lebanon is what it was. Yeah,
that's what. They sent some.
They kind of compared this article. Says Trojan horse.
Yeah, were they exploding beepers? Was that what it was? Exploding beepers.
They were walkie-talkies.
Exploding walkie-talkies.
Yeah.
Well, you should have known when you got a big package and it said it was from your arch enemy, right? And it said free walkie-talkies. We want to just extend an olive branch. You should have known something, right, Zach? Right?
Yeah. I mean, I like to think the best in people, but I think if I lived over there, I would be a lot more skeptical of outside gifts.
Hey, you remember the whole story? What the Trojan horse story, though? Wasn't that a great one?
Oh,
that was a great story, what?
Yeah.
I got an idea.
I think we just experienced it here with TikTok.
Yes, I think we did.
Yeah.
But hey, think about the Trojan horse concept. Hey, I got an idea. We're going to make this huge, beautiful, basically piece of art, maybe, right? We're going to have it hollowed in the middle. We're going to shove a bunch of our warriors in there, but be quiet, right? Shh. And then we're going to push it into the enemy grounds, right? Isn't that what they did?
Yeah. They hit it and they jumped out and they did whatever it is that they did that the cartoon I watched about it didn't necessarily show.
And they got you. Right?
Yeah.
Zach, what are we doing here on Thursday?
I don't know, man. I didn't expect to go down the road of Trojan horses.
Do you agree, though? I think the Jaguars, I don't know if they will. I think they have to go big ugly, and that's not sexy, man. When that fifth pick comes up, if they hold that fifth pick late April that night, and they go, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Will Campbell, offensive lineman, LSU, or Mason Graham, defensive lineman, it's not sexy, but I think they have to, man. I don't think they need to go line to scrimmage.
I mean, it's not, but it also is, because you got to look at it as he's a support player to help out your star quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, who obviously needs support. I think the first O-lineman I see is Will Campbell from LSU. He's projected number 7.
LSU, yeah.
You're not reaching too far to get him at 5. Just get him, just get him at 5. And then Kelvin Banks, if he's gone, you can get him.
The Texas kid. Yeah.
Yep.
Texas kid. He's a nice player. The problem with going and getting a McMillan, the big receiver, or Travis Hunter is, can't you see the Jaguars? All of a sudden, they run their first couple games out. They've got this beautiful, sexy receiver, Brian Tom BT, right? They got Thomas.
Yeah.
And on the other side, Brian Thomas Jr. And on the other side, they've got this great, sexy receiver named Travis Hunter. They've got this big, strong-arm quarterback that they can't keep upright because they can't block, and they can never get the ball to the sexy guys. I could see that happening is what I could see. They got to fix their line.
If they try, I think Hunter's going to be gone by the time they pick. But if they were to pick that McMillan from Arizona, that would just be a wasted pick. You're going to ruin that guy's career. Whereas he could be very successful elsewhere.
I can just see the Jaguars now having two really talented wide receivers and a really talented quarterback that cannot complete a pass off of his backside.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, you got to support Trevor Lawrence. That's what the whole every move you make should be to make Trevor Lawrence's job easier, and that could be getting guys on defense as well.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Zach, let's come back. We're going to look again real quick. We're 1 month away from the Players' Championship. I want to talk a little bit about that. As we're 1 month out, they'll be teeing off a month from today. Also want to take a look at where does the SEC basketball standings, where do they stand right now, pun intended there, with a big weekend coming up. And, boy, Florida's in a good spot right now. They are in a good spot to kind of take care of business. They don't play anybody ranked the next 4 games. But, man, if they take care of business, the Gators can watch their competitors at the top of the conference start picking off each other, including starting Saturday, Auburn and Alabama. SEC basketball talk, Players' Championship talk, that and a whole lot more on the other side. It's a Thursday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show. Coming back after this quick timeout from Sliders.
For those arthritis or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
All right, we teased a moment ago, the Players' Championship is 1 month away. They start a month from today out at the stadium course. One of the great events here on our First Coast as we welcome back to Norvelle live at Sliders Oyster Bar, our Thursday home, serving up the best seafood, the freshest seafood you will find anywhere right here in Neptune Beach. Safe Harbor seafood is all over the menu. And if you know, you know. If you don't, get down here. If you dig some seafood, you want the best seafood, get down to Sliders Oyster Bar. Zach, we've got about a month before they tee it off the actual first round on Thursday. Is 1 month. Over the years, the tournament has bounced back and forth between March and May and March, and it's gotten back into the March rotation. It looks like it's set now. The PGA has pretty much said they want one big tournament per month, and the Players is March. April is always the Masters, always has been. And then they obviously U.S. Open's always in July or June. British Open's always in July. The PGA now has been moved up. I don't know if you've had a preference or paid that much attention. I've always enjoyed the Players in March because it overlaps postseason college basketball, and it's always I've enjoyed over the years. I don't go to the Players very much anymore. It's kind of and this is old man get off the lawn, Terry. The Players now, to me, has turned into, what they call New Year's Eve. A lot of people call that rookie night. And a lot of grown-ups don't go out on New Year's Eve. You got a bunch of young people, and it's New Year's. That's kind of the Players now. It's kind of rookie. I think the young group just gets obliterated. So I'm not a big go-to, but when I used to go and cover it for work or just go, I loved it in March because on a random, especially on a random like Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Right, you could Sunday you wanted to watch the final of the game, the tournament, right? But I used to really enjoy getting out to the tournament Thursday, Friday, Saturday in the morning and watching some golf and fraternizing and working if I was working. But then you would have your conference basketball tournaments going on, or that's sometime it timed out the first round of March Madness. Now March Madness goes deep into April now, but I used to love. We would do Players tournament, 9 to 11 or 12, 1 o'clock, and then catch a sports bar down here and watch SEC basketball tournament or what have you. I love that. You didn't get that in May. I loved it when they overlap like that.
Yeah, the only time I've ever been was in March, and it was actually the day that the world stood still. I was there on March 15th in 2019 when they told everyone to go home.
Really?
Yeah, that was the only time I'd ever been.
I remember that well. I remember that day well. I had not gone to the tournament. That was a Thursday, right? That was the first day of the tournament.
March 15th. I
was
won't
the day.
That. Yeah.
I will not either. I was down here at the beach. I did not go to the tournament that Thursday, but it was probably gosh, it was this time of day. I was at a watering hole down here, 5, 6 o'clock, and kind of, people that I knew were coming back from the tournament, and it was on TV. And I remember we're sitting there, and then, it's starting to get dark, and the first round is pretty much completed, Zach, and you start seeing scrolls and alerts on your phone going, it appears that the Players' Championship has been canceled. It's been canceled.
Yeah, I think at first they told all the spectators to leave, and then they just shut the whole thing down entirely.
Yeah. And you went, wait a minute. And remember that basketball player, Rudy Gobert, he tested positive.
Oh, yeah, he was like coughing on all the individual mics. Yeah, what a guy.
Yeah. But I can remember sitting at a watering hole, and the place has since closed, but down here at the beach. And like I said, it's 6, 7 o'clock. The first round had pretty much ended. And we start getting these alerts and reading and watching ESPN, and they're going, not weather postponed, no, canceled.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going, wait a minute. I know it's a golf tournament, but this thing is an international massive event, right? I mean,
that's when it
there's
felt
media
real.
from Japan and Europe and golfers, and I remember going, holy cow. They didn't say this thing's gotten delayed today and will resume tomorrow. And they said, no, this thing is gone.
Yeah,
done.
And maybe it's just because I'm so heavily invested in the sports, but to me, that's when it felt like official. That was like they don't just cancel events like this. There's too much money tied up in it. Yeah,
not that side. And they ended up paying. There was no cut. Obviously, they ended up. Everybody got a little share. Every golfer that was there got paid a little bit.
Yeah,
but no, that shook me. That shook everybody. You go, whoa! I don't know what are they talking about? This thing is canceled.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those. You had heard grumblings of like a virus coming out, and you had heard things, but it wasn't like real yet. But then when that happened, it became like, what is happening? And then it lasted like a year or two after that or so. I guess around here it didn't last as long. Yeah,
and then I think the other thing that blew you away, you're like, well, wait a minute, a golf tournament, you're in the beautiful open air outdoors.
Yeah, that was the other thing. I mean, but granted, there wasn't a lot of elbow room, even though it was open. There was a lot of on top of each other for sure.
Yeah, I agree. One thing that I always bring up if at this time of year when the players gets here, and if I was the chairman of the Players Championship, and this goes back 20 years, 25 years at least, there's one thing I would have mandated, and I mean this, and I've always meant this from the bottom of my heart. If I was running the Players Championship, and there's always been this statement, this quote you hear, well, the Players Championship, it's the 5th major.
Yeah.
You always hear, it's the 5th major. Obviously, British Open, Masters, PGA, U.S. Open. Those are your 4 majors. And those have been your 4 majors since golf was struck, basically, right? There's no doubting it. This beautiful course for the players, first stadium course. Now there's a bunch of stadium type courses, was designed and developed. And you started, Zach, if I ran the Players 25 years ago, I would have sent out an email and I would have told all my employees, anybody associated with that tournament, do not ever, 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 ever refer to this tournament as the 5th major. And I don't know if you have any idea where I'm going with this, but I'll stick by this. I think that actually hurt the prestige for a long time, then helped it because, Zach, and you've heard me use this analogy before, and I'll use it again. If you are the prettiest girl in the room, you don't walk in the front door and go, hey, everybody, I'm the prettiest girl in the room. You are the prettiest girl in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
No, it does.
If you, and I thought the Players for years, if you had to get the microphone and the camera and go, hey, by the way, we're the 5th major. Well, I think that's counterproductive.
Are they in like a calendar year? Are they the first big tournament?
Yes, and that's why they went back to. That's why they moved it back to March.
Yeah, so you think they should lean into being the first?
The theory is the Players is the first big one in March.
Mm-hmm.
April's the Masters. May is now the PGA got moved up. June is the U.S. Open, and July is the British. But I always used to think if you have to tell
what if they call themselves the first major, like the first of the calendar year?
Yeah, I'm sure the British Open would love that. You know where golf was born at? Yeah, they'd go for that.
Yeah, it happens later in the year, though. And also, don't we like to thumb our nose at the British? That would be fun.
Yeah, we do. Put some red coats on them and say, hey, how's that working out for you?
This is the first major of the year. It is.
Hey, listen, but I will tell you this. If you get a job as the groundskeeper out there, make sure you kill the gopher. You got to kill the gopher.
The gopher? Is this from
Not the golfer. The gopher.
This is Caddyshack?
Yes. Remember that? He said, hey, man, we've got to kill the gophers. What do you mean we can't kill the golfers? No, not the golfers. The gopher.
Yeah, for sure.
But, Zach, I'm telling you, for years I always thought, and everybody associated with the players would always, every time they got in front of a sports writer or a broadcaster, well, you know, we're the fifth major. I'm like, dude, if you have to tell somebody you're the hot girl doesn't say she's the hot girl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're the hot girl. Everybody accepts that you're the hot girl.
Yeah.
I hated the way they did that.
Christina Hendricks just walks in the room. She doesn't say anything.
Yeah. Well, you like her, don't you? You like her, don't you?
She has a lot of qualities that I look for.
I haven't seen her in a long time. Have you seen her do any work or anything?
I haven't.
She was from Mad Men. Was that her? The first time I ever saw her? Mad Men.
That's the first time I ever saw her. Yeah.
Yeah. I told you Mad Men is running on one of the networks, and damn, I can't not watch it. It's driving me nuts because it's on. You know when they'll get a 6-month contract and run these network shows from the past.
Oh yeah, like AMC or something like that.
Yeah, it's on like one of those channels that I always surf by, and I'm like, damn it, I gotta watch it.
Yeah, I don't think she's in anything currently. She was on a show called Good Girls. I might get into that.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. Zach, we were talking about the Eagles, and they've got their big parade tomorrow. God, what a disaster that's going to be, by the way, right? Oh, what about the American? It's just not an American thing, obviously, soccer hooligans and all.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you hate the way sports celebrations now are angry?
Yeah, I don't like how it's all, we won the Super Bowl, let's destroy our city, let's climb up the light poles and eat horse crap. Yeah, I don't know.
Zach, you nailed it. Why is that? Why has it devolved? Why has it devolved into that? I mean, I hate to say I hate to say this, and I'm being serious here for a minute. And let me qualify what I'm going to say by I don't mean just a bad break. Sometimes just a bad accident happens. Okay. I'm talking about senseless death tomorrow. There's going to be 1 million people celebrating the Eagles parade tomorrow, right?
Oh,
Zach, there will be, I don't know. I bet you there'll be 4 or 5 senseless, not accidents. Accidents are one thing. I bet you there'll be 4 or 5 senseless deaths tomorrow. Just senseless. One guy will argue with one guy. Somebody will get mad at somebody. Alcohol. You know, why have our celebrations turned into that?
I think 4.5 seems, or 4 or 5 seems a lot. But if you set the over under at 0.5, I would take the over.
Yeah.
I mean,
I bet you there'll be a couple. There'll be a couple.
Yeah.
1 million people. But Zach, theoretically, they're all there for a common happy good. Why do these celebrations turn so violent?
I mean, to be fair, though, maybe they won't. Maybe Philly will come out there and be really classy. Maybe they'll just come out there and sing songs together and pass out Bibles. You know, we don't know. You don't know they're going to do that tomorrow.
And you're right. I'm also 6'5", blonde hair, blue eyed surfer too. Right? Yeah.
I mean, they haven't done it yet. We don't know.
I think it's kind of a fairly new phenomenon. Maybe 20 years or so. When our big teams win championships, there's a celebration. And where or why? What's the theory of the angry mob mentality? And the anti-police and.
I think people by default just like to mob. I want to say the first one happened when the Lakers won in LA. I could be completely making that up, but I think once one person does something and someone else sees it, and it's just I think people just mentally just look to mob at any given. opportunity.
Are people just more mob mentality aggressive now? Because you know, you would see the 1936 black and white Yankee ticker tape parade going through New York City, and there were 10 million people, and everybody was happy and smiling, and there's ticker tape coming out. Now, tomorrow, you know there's going to be multiple ugly scenes tomorrow. There's going to be cars on fire. There's going to be police fights, and
I'm definitely picturing seeing at some point one of those clips of like a group of 10 people flipping over a police car.
Absolutely.
I think that'll happen.
And you wonder why that is. And I don't think it's. I would kind
of like to flip over a police car. So like if I saw 15 people doing it, I would be number 16. I wouldn't be number 1 though. I wouldn't be the first. But once I see like
Zach, don't say that.
I like to be. You know what? I flip it over. Well, it could be a regular car. Look, I'm just saying. I think I could become the mob person if given the right. If I had enough alcohol.
What's the theory though? Like
I said, I think that's just natural. I think it's just what we are as humans. We're mob. We're crazy. Have you ever met a human before?
Yeah, I don't like many people. I really don't like people.
They're crazy. They're the most nuts thing that's
ever
happened
one
to this
thing.
planet.
I'll tell you one thing. There's about 8 million places I'd rather be tomorrow than at that Philadelphia Eagles celebration parade.
Would not love.
It'll be a mess.
If I was, it'll be a mess. I would love to be there, and I would love to contribute to the rioting. But no, would not like to be there personally.
And this will make it worse, I think. The little bastards now got money in their pocket. Did you hear about this? Philadelphia's Super Bowl victory was a boon for sports books in most states, but not in Philadelphia. How about this?
Yeah, everybody, let's put 1,000 on the Eagles. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And they were the underdog. And they were the underdog. It's what killed them.
On the Hard Rock Sports betting app, Zach Rothlock put 100 on the Eagles. We won that.
Yeah.
They told me I can't bet against Mahomes. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not a big gambler, but I think I've got this right. I think the reason the Philadelphia state books lost so much money, if you take an underdog and the points, you got 2 chances to win, right? You can win straight up.
Yeah, but it was just a 1-point spread, and the 1 point was not needed. But so it says money line, and you get paid out more. But theirs was such a coin toss. The odds I got, I know I bet 100 and I won back 195, so I didn't even quite double. So the odds were actually close enough where it wasn't crazy. It wasn't like if you bet on the Jaguars to win the Super Bowl and they won it and you got plus 2,000. It wasn't that. But yeah, I'm sure that I bet that in the city of Philadelphia that 99% of the people bet on the Eagles and they got creamed.
And I don't think they were just I'm picking the favorite home team. I think a lot of them really thought they were going to win, not hope they were going to win because they were playing really good football. I hate the Eagles, but they were playing. So it says Pennsylvania sportsbooks lost a net of $6.5 million on Super Bowl, according to figures released Thursday by the state gaming. A record $101.5 million was bet on the Super Bowl with Pittsburgh sportsbooks, 20% increase over the previous high in 2023 when the Eagles lost to the Chiefs. Pennsylvania Gaming Board noted that a high percentage of wagers placed on the Eagles to win this year, leading to the losses for the books. Obviously, the points were not even a factor either. They won by 18. In Pennsylvania, approximately 73% of bets placed and 79% of the money wagered on the Super Bowl was on the underdog Eagles.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. So, again, I don't think that was just
how close their margins are. It wasn't even 9. I thought it would be like more than that. But yeah, if it's not around 50-50, they lose. That's crazy.
Yeah. How about that? So those idiots have got money in their pocket tomorrow too. Oh boy.
Maybe that'll make them be in a better mood.
Maybe. Eagles bring a lot back next year, right?
Yeah, I don't see why they're not the favorite to win. The Chiefs are the favorite by most betting markets. But
I saw that.
I don't think the O-line's going anywhere. I don't think the D-line's going anywhere. I don't think Hurts is going anywhere. I don't see why not.
Yeah. Was this the first year in a while that Barkley made the whole year, basically? Hadn't he been an injury-prone guy?
He had definitely had, for sure. But, I mean, it's difficult running behind the Giants O-line to not get hurt when you're getting the ball 20 times a game. So it's definitely not fair to say that he was injury-prone.
I don't know if
healthy all year.
I don't know if you were on. I guess it was Monday when we first got on and broke down the Super Bowl. I'm going to throw this out. I was really impressed by the Eagles coaching staff. And let me explain. When you watch the game unfold Sunday, it was pretty obvious that the Chiefs said, we're game planning to slow down Barkley.
Yeah.
He didn't have a huge game. He didn't acquire a bunch of yards. He never snapped off a 60-yarder. They did a good job. And that was their game plan, you could tell. But the impressive part to me was the Eagles coaching staff, their offensive staff, obviously. I think they greatly anticipated that, and they said, listen, even though they're going to game plan to take Saquon out of the game, he still got 25 carries. And I think that was key because nowhere in that game could the Chiefs go, okay, we've slowed Barkley so much, they've abandoned him, so we're going to drop in coverage. They never totally abandoned him.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm glad you used that word. Barkley's the guy this year. Every time he touches the ball, you think he's going 60. So I even thought it would have been easy for the Eagles after about 12 or 13 carries to go, hey, man, they're taking the run away. We're going to pass it 65 times. They would have lost that game. They kept handing him the ball to make Kansas City stay base, I think. And then the Browns and the Devonta Smiths and the Goddards, I think I was really impressed that the Eagles, even though they didn't churn out yardage, they kept handing the ball off to keep Kansas City from dropping, into deep coverage.
Yeah,
really impressed with that.
And then that one play. So, I mean, this is how you let 28-3 happen, is you just don't get any first downs. And so what the Eagles could have done is just kept giving the ball to Barkley and just kept running up the middle, and they could have just had to turn the ball back over. What they did instead was they bombed Devontae Smith up by 34 points already. And then at that point, that's when pretty much everybody just took a deep breath and said.
But they kept handing it off, so Kansas City couldn't say, to hell with they've given up on the run. We're going to put 9 guys in the pass.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard Patrick Young screaming at me.
Lined up.
Oh, Patrick, what's going on, buddy? What's up? There you are. We see you. We kind of see you. What's up?
There you go. Let me get that going.
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Excuse me. What's up, man?
Man, I tell you,
that's a nice
Thursday.
shirt you got there, Terry. That's a nice.
You like that? I had a second compliment I got today. Some girl said, "Man, nice shirt."
How
about that?
Look at you.
Thank
Where'd you get that from?
I've had it a while. I'm gonna start playing golf. It'll be one of my golf shirts, I think. Here, Patrick. Hey, man.
Go ahead.
What about Tuesday, Wednesday, man? SEC basketball. Overview of your 2 nights in the studio.
Great. Tuesday was great. Wednesday was
unbelievable.
Wednesday was my first bad day of games. I would say
it wasn't great,
but
it wasn't.
And
great.
that's to say that this point in the season. I mean, that's pretty big time. Hey,
I tell you though, man, Tuesday night.
I know you had to have gotten on Carl Ravage. I know you did.
No, what happened?
What happened now? He said, okay. So Terry. The Florida Gators are in the SEC conference, right? As are 13 or 15 other teams.
Correct.
So typically, right, each one of these teams plays a non-conference schedule before going into conference play, right?
Correct.
And you can look and see, the SEC had a fantastic record this going into conference play. Because those non-conference games, remember it was like 14-2 of the ACC SEC challenge. It was some ridiculous numbers.
It was 14-2.
I'm talking about in terms of let's just say the SEC was like 100 wins and 7 losses.
Yeah.
As soon as you go to conference play, what happens to the overall conference's record, Terry?
Well, if you're a bad conference, you're just going to go 500 against yourself. I know that.
It doesn't matter if you're good or you're bad.
Right.
You're going to go 500, and Carl Ravage had the worst take.
Oh, no.
It's just unbelievable. No team's been able to separate themselves since conference play has begun. The record is 82-82.
Oh, no. Well, everybody's going to win. To get a win, you got to have a loss, right? I mean,
you got to have a winner and a loser in every game.
Oh no, I see.
Oh, it was bad, Terry. It was bad.
I see. Hey, I saw something on the Facebook today, kind of along those lines. Somebody posted a big jug, one of those big water jugs, like you have a big water jug.
Yeah.
Somebody posted on the Facebook, and it was filled up with pennies all the way to the brim, filled up. And the caption, the person was trying to be smart. He said, "This shows if you save 1 penny a day, you've got $36,500 at the end of the year." And
Oh my
people were like,
gosh.
people were like, no. You would have to put like 1,000 pennies in a day.
Yeah. Which would be, 100. Was that $100? No.
Yeah. Ugh.
Here, $10.
Hey, Patrick, how about Tuesday night, man? The 7:00 games were incredible across the SEC, man. Just great Tuesday night action, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Even, gosh, man, the Gators with and you said it, and I thought, I think both of us are pretty taken aback as to how the Gators just completely embarrassed, dismantled Mississippi State in the second half.
Wow.
Like, on their court, you can't score. We're laughing. We're beating you so bad, we're laughing at you.
Oh.
Like, they're laughing while they're going on that 17-0 run.
Yeah. Patrick, I said it yesterday, I think it was. Gator basketball right now as we sit, there's really good news and really bad news. To me, the good news, I think Florida's playing better than anybody in the country right now. The bad news is March Madness doesn't start until the third weekend in March.
Right.
I wish it started right. Man, they are playing really good, and it looks like the Condon injury is not as bad as it visually looked, man. Patrick, Florida's playing good basketball right now.
I did not think, look, Melendez, he did grab Condon. It was a 50-50 ball. I don't think you look at him and say, he tried to hurt Alex Condon on that play.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. Condon that was an awkward way they were both going, and obviously he didn't help the situation. But I am obviously happy that it's not, if Janai, it didn't look I thought his knee was going to be more injured.
Me too.
The way all the weight came down than his ankle.
Me too.
Because the ankle didn't look as bad, per se, Janai Broom when he sprained his ankle. And he came back. I think he only missed one game. Really. One or two.
Yeah.
And he came back and he missed no beats.
Yeah.
He came back.
I saw it a lot like you did the other night, the injury to Condon. I didn't see it as a malicious play by the Mississippi State player.
No.
As a matter of fact, had Todd Golden not made a point about it, I would have never even thought down those lines. I just thought it was an awkward landing. Patrick, they went on a 17-0 run. They were down by a point at half.
Yeah,
they went 17-0.
I just don't think Mississippi State, and that's so bad to say, they're a top 25 team. They're not a Final Four team. The only way that happens is if Riley Kugel can bottle up who he was last year.
Yeah.
Or the year before that.
Yeah.
He has no help. Josh Hubbard, that real quick guard.
Yeah.
Who else played that night? Was it Bama? Bama played that night.
Yeah, they played the late game. Kentucky, Tennessee was the big game.
Right.
And then Auburn, Vandy, the other one.
Man, I don't know if Tennessee just they're a top 10 team, but when they play Kentucky, they just don't look like. And both times they played Kentucky, they're missing play. Kentucky was missing players.
Hey, something's missing with Tennessee. I'm telling you, there's just something is off. They're good, but they're missing something. I'll tell you one thing: Tennessee better look out. Texas A&M's making a late run. Texas A&M may grab that 2 seed that Tennessee thought they were going to get.
Yeah, at this pace, at this rate, I'm just man. First time in SEC history, 4:00 on Saturday, a 1 and a 2 playoff play each other.
I know. How about that? And it does
There's
not
been
involve
a
Kentucky.
lot of really good teams in that. And I had this argument, not argument, but talked with Gene
Right.
Fredette the other day.
Right.
And he said, as good as my team was, the one difference between this team, my team, and this current team is the competition. We had 3 teams make the tournament my senior year. Us, Kentucky, and Tennessee. And Tennessee, I think they made it as far as the Sweet 16. Kentucky made it to the championship game. We made it to the Final Four.
Really? Only 3 SEC?
Projected 13 teams from the SEC are going to make it as of now, today. Like,
well, what was his argument?
About competitive, saying that the only reason that he would say that the team of today is better than my team is because of the competition. He said you can't go and you can't go 18-0. No one can go 18-0 undefeated in this league.
No,
like we did.
No.
Yeah, we had plenty of games where we knew like, hey, we don't have to play perfect as long as we don't beat ourselves. Like Auburn they're not good enough to like walk in the gym with us. When Auburn was not good when I was.
No.
Now they're great.
Only 3 teams made it out of the SEC back then. There was only 14, I guess, but only 3 made the tournament. Wow. That team of yours was good, though, man. Ooh, that was a good team.
Good. I think their guard play might be better than us, but I think our post play, I don't know, man. They shoot the ball well. How can Condon shoot the ball and pass the ball so well? They might have us there too.
I'd pay to watch that game.
Better defense. We were better defense.
I'd pay to watch that. Patrick, right now the SEC, looking at the conference, tied for first, and they have not played. 10-1 Auburn, 10-1 Alabama. They play Saturday. Sitting in a tie for second with 8-3 records, Florida and Texas A&M. Ole Miss, don't forget about Ole Miss, 8-4 alone. Missouri 7-4. Tennessee, that was a bad loss for Tennessee. They're 7-5, but they're going the wrong way, man. Patrick, they're 6-5 their last 11 when they were 14-0, Patrick. Tennessee's not playing real good. Good win for Kentucky the other night there, right?
Great win, man. I didn't know that kid, all their kids are transfers, but the one Brea that knocked down 9 threes against the Gators earlier this year or whatever it was, I didn't know he could shoot it off the dribble as good as he was a catch and shoot guy. He hit 2 really big threes, ISO at the top of the key against Tennessee. Like, I bet you Tennessee wishes they could have got him instead of Chaz Lanier.
Yeah, I've watched Lanier a lot now. I didn't see him when he played at UNF. I've seen him a lot. I like his shot. He can heat up, but boy, he's a one-dimensional guy, isn't he? He's a one-dimensional guy. He's got to camp in the lane and
coming off screen more. Like keep having him come off screens and sets where that's where I think he doesn't seem to be a guy that can really create his own shot. Attacking the rim.
Yeah. Pat, the way I look at the conference right now, I know people are talking about 13. I think they're going to get 12 in. Sometimes I think when you say a big number, you miss by 1. Here's how I think the conference is playing out right now. I think we know 10 teams. 10 teams are in right now. I've got 2 teams. LSU and South Carolina are out. Unless they won 5 in a row in Nashville, they're out.
Poor South, and we'll get on that just for Zach's sake. Poor South Carolina, but keep going.
But so I've got right now as we sit, 10 teams are definitely in the tournament. 2 are definitely out. I don't see LSU or South Carolina winning the tournament 5 games in a row. That leaves, to me, 4 teams fighting for 2 spots. Those 4, Arkansas, Georgia, Texas, and Oklahoma. I think 2 of those 4, and they're about to start playing each other.
Well, I think Oklahoma is not in.
They're going to get out. Yeah, they're 3-8 now.
Dude, Terry.
3-8.
Terry, that was the worst game of the year. Like
really.
And what we did, I really like this approach that we've taken. Because sometimes, Terry, it's tough. You've been there. It's hard to stay locked in on each play as you're watching and, like, really try to look for trends. So our producer had us, like, really lock in and try to find stuff to say, hey, earmark this clip here, earmark that clip. So it really helped us. Like, it makes you look good on TV when
sure does.
You got the evidence to back it up.
Yeah.
And I'm doing this, Terry. The first game I did it went great. Like, I was easy to see, and we'll get back in South Carolina. Colin Murray Boyles, how he was playing, how poorly in the first half, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. I was able to identify. Watching Oklahoma, Terry, they've given up. It's the first time I've seen a college team give up.
Wow.
They literally, and I said it on air because Pat found some things that Missouri did, and I said that he used for B-roll, and I said, you know what, guys, there's no B-roll because I couldn't find anything that Oklahoma is doing that shows they want to win this game or even be in the SEC. Like, goodness, they have no money for NIL. That's a big issue.
Ooh.
No NIL money, Terry.
So you've got them out.
Say, Oklahoma, just say there's 3 teams. Oklahoma,
three teams.
They ain't getting it.
Yeah. So Arkansas, Georgia, Texas, and that could be a dogfight. That's a dogfight right there. Those three teams.
I like Arkansas to.
Same here.
Georgia's spot there. They're spiraling. They were really good to start the season, and they've just lost it.
Yeah.
And Arkansas seems to have that. Hey, man, big Zvonimir Ivasic.
What about that guy?
How about that guy? Back-to-back games with 25 points.
7-2 guy, right?
7-2.
And can shoot it like Wemby.
Face. He has a baby face as a 7-2 guy. Goodness.
Hey, Patrick. Florida Gators sitting in good spot, 8-3, 2 games behind, but Auburn and Alabama are playing each other. Florida still plays Alabama. The Gators next 4: South Carolina, Oklahoma, LSU, Georgia. None of those teams are ranked. Does Florida go through the 4 undefeated?
Say it again. South Carolina.
South Carolina at home, Oklahoma at home, LSU on the road, Georgia on the road. If Florida wants a number 1 seed, they need to go undefeated.
They need to go 4-0. They need to go 4-0. Yeah. Without a doubt. Yeah. I don't have any concern. Man, again, I guess now's the time, man. South Carolina, what a tough year in terms of the theme is they cannot take care of the ball in the last 3 minutes of games, Terry.
I've watched them.
The thing you see, it's turnover. And last night it was Colin Murray Boyles. He had 2 back-to-back. Like, he's good. And I want you to chime in here on this, Zach. I think he's good. I just think he stays way too far away from the basket because he's not a 3-point shooter. Even though he's made 6 this year, but like he gets in mismatches with guys that are smaller than him at the 3-point line instead of like on the block or the mid post. And that's just more time you have to dribble the ball to close space to get to your shot when you can be closer from the get-go. Anyways, I'm curious what Zach's got to say about his South Carolina squad this year.
Man, I really have not forced myself to sit and watch very many Gamecock games. I'm a little bit more familiar with the Ladycocks.
Well, Zach, along what Patrick was saying, obviously the earlier game, Florida, South Carolina, that was the first time I watched South Carolina wire to wire. Why would I? They haven't had a great year. I've caught them the last couple of weeks. I'll just catch a chunk of their game. And Patrick is so right. Patrick, there are times you watch South Carolina and a team will press them and they look like a YMCA. They cannot get the ball across half court.
Yeah,
I know, dude. What the heck, man?
Say that again, Zach.
Guards. You can't move the ball to the court without guards.
Well, I know. Oh, it looks like that.
Freaking Michu Johnson.
I know. He left.
And
he
then,
left, right?
Yeah, and then Miles Studi, I think, he got blood clots in his legs, and he hasn't been able to play all year.
But, man, when I watched South Carolina play this year, when they get it's like if we walked into a high school gym and there's an athletic team playing a non-athletic team, and the athletic team presses them, and they just can't get the ball. They have no concept. They don't know where to space. and you're like, this is a Division I basketball team. They have trouble getting into the front court. It's hard to watch. Hard to watch.
Yeah, it is.
But also, they played so many close games. I kind of feel like if it was an average year of SEC talent, I mean, this team would probably be about 500 in the conference. It's just such an up year for the league.
Was it Jay Billis? One of the national guys was lauding the SEC about. I think it was Billis saying how good he thinks this may be the best conference in power basketball ever, regular season. And he said, look at South Carolina. They're 0-11. They're at the bottom of the SEC, and they've beaten Clemson this year. They beat Clemson's really good. They just beat North Carolina. South Carolina's going to win over Clemson, for God's sakes.
Good point.
Patrick, I think I hear a lot of fans, and I read a lot of fans now, SEC basketball fans, on social media, and a lot of people are saying, my God, can't wait to get to Nashville. It's going to be, I think, just the opposite. I think there's going to be 4 or 5 teams that Nashville, it's almost like SEC baseball in the tournament, the conference tournament. The conference tournament gets in the way sometimes. I don't think there's going to be a lot of interest. You can't say this out loud. I think the top 4 teams in the SEC are going to go, man, I just want to get on a plane Saturday and go back home, get ready for the big tournament.
Yeah.
I know Sankey didn't want to hear that.
I know, right? I don't know, man. Like these guys, think of a team like Tennessee. If they somehow, let's just say if they finish this regular season without like some real consistency, like they still but they hit the tournament and they find a spark like that, a team like that for them, and maybe even Mississippi State too, or even Ole Miss. I think teams like that, I think it's more beneficial for them because I've just seen, Ole Miss, they have come away with some really good wins. I just think they're so inconsistent. But hey, yesterday they played great.
Yeah.
The first half, they're 65% from the field in the first half of yesterday's game. And look, Terry, you got Missouri. Don't sleep on them.
I know they're good. Good roster.
They have like 7 top 25 wins already this year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good roster.
Win at and you hate to say it, but the win against Florida, like that was a huge one. A team that went 0-18 last year, Terry.
That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. The big game Saturday is it's 4:00. It's that Alabama-Auburn game in the same time slot. That was where Florida and Auburn were at last Saturday. I hate to be the bearer of bad news for Zach and Patrick. You guys know Florida plays South Carolina Saturday at 8:30, for God's sake.
Oh, my gosh.
8:30 tip, boys. Hate that. Can't stand that. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts early on Alabama Auburn? They play again in about 2.5 weeks after this.
Oh man, early thoughts on that. They're so good. Both are coming off of really good wins.
In Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, they're both coming off of really, really good wins. Alabama, I would say, had an even better win because they shot the heck out of the ball.
Yeah.
I think Bama. First of all, let's take a step back here. Did you know that the Auburn Tigers, their team, their average age is older than the starting lineup of the Oklahoma City Thunder?
Really? Yeah, Broom's 23, I think.
Chad Baker-Mazara is 25. No, Broom's 22. He's actually his correct age.
Wow.
But Chad Baker-Mazara is older than Luka Doncic.
That's crazy.
Right.
Isn't that something?
Anyways.
Isn't that something?
So I had to let that be known.
Yeah.
But going back, Auburn, I don't know if they have as much depth. Pettifer, that freshman coming off the bench, is sensational.
He's tough,
but
man.
You look at Bama, man, that kid Holloway has been playing crazy. Diabate, I know we don't like him for how he hit Condon in the back of the head last year.
Dirty guy.
And then, but they got really good depth over there at Bama. So
and that damn Grant Nelson guy, he just does he does a little bit of everything, doesn't he? Oh, son of a gun.
Yeah, I just thought he would be better than he is by now. I don't know if that's
He's a pain, though, man. He's a pain.
Not that that's fair.
Sounds like Pat may have clicked off there. Yeah, but the big one in the SEC, 4:00 Saturday, Auburn at Alabama, and then they play the return game. I think it's the final game, like March 8th of the regular season. Obviously, this one will be in Auburn. Before we go to break, I thought Auburn had a nice win. The second half against Vanderbilt on Tuesday, Vanderbilt made a hell of a run, and that place in Vandy was rocking. Auburn came back and kind of took control of that game. So SEC cruising through the final 2.5 weeks of the season. I wanted to throw this out at Patrick, and maybe tomorrow, if he's on, we can throw it out. I'm not so sure that Patrick's old college basketball coach, Billy Donovan, I think his name is going to get mentioned prominently for what I think a job that's going to open, North Carolina. Boy, I think that would fit like a glove. The Bulls are struggling. It may be time for Donovan to he might get a pink slip at Chicago. 10 games under 500. They lost by 40 the other night. 40. I think keep an eye on Billy Donovan's name getting mentioned for North Carolina. If that job opens up, and I think Jay Wright would be the 200th guy. I would call him 200 times. He'd have to tell me no. If I'm Indiana, I think that would be a perfect fit for the Hoosiers, who are looking for a basketball coach. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back and wrap things up in a fun, diverse Thursday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show. Appreciate Patrick Young jumping on as he's been traveling, coming back from Charlotte. We'll come back, wrap things up, start previewing tomorrow's show, the Young and Norvelle Show, continuing on a Thursday live from Sliders Oyster Bar.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device, you're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 143-2579.
All right, we got a couple minutes left. We're about to wrap things up. Patrick Young still with us as we are going to go ahead and put this show to bed. Want to thank all of our good friends here at, Sliders Oyster Bar. They're serving up the great Safe Harbor seafood, patio dining, full liquor bar, oyster bar. Johnny Pop, he's got his sample platters of oysters, all kind of creative oyster dishes for you to sample. Come by next time you've got a craving for the best seafood. Sliders Oyster Bar. Patrick Young, we were talking during the break. I think North Carolina is going to fire Hubert Davis. I think the perfect guy to fill that job would be your boy Billy Donovan, back out of the NBA. I know he's with the Bulls. I think Donovan to the North Carolina Tar Heels would be a perfect fit. And I think Jay Wright is an absolute glove fit for the Indiana Hoosiers. What do you think? What do you think, Pat?
Oh man. It's so hard for me to see Coach Donovan coming out of the NBA. I think he's the lifestyle, and I could see Coach Donovan taking a year off, man. But
that's a good point.
North Carolina, honestly, like they should call.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt, they should call, and then make him tell you no twice or two or three times.
I'm with you. What do you think about
being at that program? I think you'd be much closer in line of having like that, because that's a big Power 5 program where history, his name, etc. Where he could get to another Final Four.
Sure, he could.
Fast.
Yep.
Like
I agree with you.
You know, like it wouldn't take 4 years. For year 1 or 2. He'd have a Final Four capable team.
And Carolina's got to get out of they got to quit hiring the Bill Guthridge off the Dean Smith staff years ago, the Hubert Davis because he's a Carolina guy. They got to go get a real good basketball coach. They got to say to hell with same with Indiana. I mean, they can't hire Mike Davis and Mike Woodson, who they're about to fire. Those blue bloods, they got to go get. To hell with the keep it in the family stuff. That's old.
Well, I think you can. I think you can still stay in, but you got to go. Like, look at Duke. They went John Shire. Like that's a guy that won a championship, and he's still young. Like, opposed to like if I would think Jay Billis is too old. Like his style is, even though he's got great history and played at Duke and won a championship and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think you can still stay in-house, but it's got to be someone that's already had some NBA success in their career. Shoot, and what else, man? I mean, at least assistant coach experience somewhere.
How about and we got 1 minute, Patrick. How about if North Carolina does what I think they should do, and I'm just being fun here, but I truly believe this. What if North Carolina got Billy Donovan with 2 national titles on the basketball side and Bill Belichick with 100 Super Bowl championships on the football side? That would be their coaching twosome. Belichick and Donovan. That would be
pretty
real cool. Hey, Pat, we got 30 seconds. If the SEC was to win the basketball championship, anybody win it, I mean, this will go down as the greatest, I think, basketball season in one conference ever. Yeah. It's unbelievable what they've done. Yes.
Without a doubt. I think it's so many teams have broken personal records this year just because they've, the strength of schedule in the conference is just unbelievable.
It really is. All right, Pat, I'm glad you're back safe. Get settled, and we'll talk some ball tomorrow. How's that? That's our buddy Patrick Young, star of our show, the Young and Norvelle Show. Today, wrapping things up, we want to thank our great sponsor on Thursday, Sliders Oyster Bar. That'll do it. I want to thank Zach Rothrock as well for producing. We'll get together tomorrow, 4 o'clock, 4 to 6, happy hour show, the Young and Norvelle Show. We hope you join us, everybody. Have a great Thursday evening.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jacks app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jacks Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.